Hi, welcome to my final presentation, Individualized Teaching and Learning. My name is Tamara Lambert. I am originally from San Diego, California. I recently moved to Austin, Texas. A little bit about my education. I have been a lead pre-K teacher for over 12 years. When I moved to Austin, I started working for a charter school. I'm currently working as a kindergarten teaching fellow. Upon my completion of my degree this spring, I will be able to be promoted as a lead kindergarten teacher within the charter school that employs me. Today's presentation will cover information on inclusion, what it is, why it's important. I will also go over motivation, my focus child. I will go over her glows and grows. I will present my 3 big goals, and I will also give you a little information on my embedded teaching plan and the solution. And then we will go ahead and cover my conclusion and reflection. Inclusion. Inclusion in early childhood education includes values, policies, and practices that support the right of every infant and young child and his or her family. Such practices apply regardless of abilities to participate in a broad range of activities and contexts as full members of a family, community, and society. The defining features of inclusion are access, participation, and support. Access creates accessible learning environments. Participation encourages play, learning, and membership. And support is seen through helping parents and providers find information and assistance. Inclusion is as a practice is mindful and purposeful planning. Inclusion is considerate of every child in the classroom. Motivation. An inclusive classroom is an environment where all children can learn side by side. This nurturing environment respects, appreciates, and supports the differences, abilities, and uniqueness of each child. An inclusive classroom provides the opportunity to learn and grow from one another. I found a quote that says, "Schools provide the context for a child's first relationship with the world outside their families, enabling the development of social relationships and interactions. Respect and understanding grow when students of diverse abilities and backgrounds play, socialize, and learn together." This motivation is what prompted me with my journey with my focus child. So the classroom setting. I am currently a kindergarten teaching fellow, which falls out of the range of the children that we're trying to focus on for this course. So at the school that I volunteer at, which is luckily across the street, the children at that school range from 6 weeks to pre-K. The curriculum is comprehensive and it is play-based. The school encourages teachers to collaborate with parents to create and nurture children into respectful, confident, and joyful learners. The program offers full and half-day programs. The full day is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Half day is 6 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Schedules include 2 outdoor play sessions, centers, circle time, child-directed play in large groups, and teacher-directed and small focus groups. That's where you're going to see your academics and the introduction of certain concepts, like if they're focusing on Spanish or a math skill. There is a lunch and snack time and a nap time offered for the children in the full day program. I volunteer in a preschool age classroom that it's on a little bit on the cusp of preschool / pre-K. It's considered pre-K, yet the children are 3 to 4. My typical observation shift is from 8 to 11. My focus child is a young 4-year-old girl. When I say young 4, I mean she just turned 4 on February 18th. The reason why I chose this focus child was I noticed that she was socially and emotionally withdrawn, and I've based this on previous observations I've had with her in the classroom, just observing her being dropped off, observing her during transitions. And if we loop back to that motivation aspect when we talk about inclusion also considers children who struggle socially and emotionally. So that is where my ideas and my heart was drawn to this particular child. So the glow For my focus child, she quickly absorbs and retains information. She is passionate about learning. She loves to build and she loves to role play, which means you will see her in the home center or in the dress up area. She is friendly, she's warm and energetic in the best of ways when she is warmed up. When I say she is friendly, I mean if you choose to approach her, she will be kind and she will engage in conversation. The grow area. It is very difficult for her to separate from her parents. She struggles with transition and she seeks the attention from her teachers versus peers. Social and emotional support is needed. This child will be more than happy to talk to you, but she will not seek out your attention. She does not seek out the attention of her peers. She is more than happy to play by herself. So environmental support. Environmental support are small changes educators can make to promote participation, engagement, and learning for every child. This means making modifications and providing support to meet the needs of individual children by adjusting the room arrangements, furniture, and use of space. Physical modifications that we made were the setup of the classroom, placement, and furniture. Particularly, we paid attention to the pictures and visual directions. This included like pictures in the washing station, numbers, and even pictographs of how many students are allowed in each center. Some centers, more children want to be in there than others. The social environment, we provided support with buddy charts, buddy seating, and group projects. And the temporal are 5-minute warnings before transition and visual timers. Curriculum modification. These are actual pictures from the classroom. Curriculum modifications are small changes made to classroom activities or materials to encourage child participation. Adult support. One form of adult support that was modified was the inclusion of a teacher modeling the wanted behavior. So in this picture you will see the teacher modeling the appropriate step-by-step action of washing hands, waiting in turns, and going through that step-by-step procedure. Peer support. One modification made to the curriculum was a buddy system approach to centers. This approach is supported with the help of peers. My focus child struggles a little bit with making friends and kind of going ahead and taking that first step to create friends. So the idea of a buddy system kind of takes the pressure off from that, and it's more like an invisible support to make friendships. So that invisible support as well, piggybacking off my previous idea, is purposeful changes made to an activity. In the last picture you will see that is a group activity. The group activity encouraged my focus child to participate in an activity with other children. What the child did not know, my focus child, that what was going on in this picture you'll see at the right, which is just so precious. The children were all creating a little house for the calming area, and this house was put by the door so that when children come in and they need a little bit of a quiet area to go to after drop off, they can go in there and snuggle with some of the toys until they feel ready to go to the larger group activity. This particular house that all the children worked together to create is the house that my focus child ended up going to the next day. It was a very cool thing to witness. 3 big goals. So for my focus child, number 1, Valentina will participate in cleaning up toys before transition. She becomes very anxious before any transition, and sometimes she will refuse to clean up. Number 2, Valentina will enter the classroom and separate from her parents without a meltdown. And number 3, Valentina will build friendships with peers. Cleanup transition goals. So her current skill level, the child becomes anxious about transition and refuses to clean. The child will cry and eventually clean up with guidance from a teacher. The next step will, the teacher will verbally encourage the child to pick up the toys and just observe. The next step, teacher will verbally encourage a child to pick up the toys using a verbal game that gives the specific directions on what toys to pick up. Next step, A teacher will encourage and assist child in the cleaning process. Clean up toys before transition is the main goal. So what we would like to do is kind of wean her off this process of having to have so much support with cleaning up. The embedded lesson, if you see this nice little marble run, you can imagine how much fun this is in the classroom. You can also imagine how many pieces are included in such a toy. So this is a specific toy that I used in one of the lessons, and it was to create play and engage in a game that will encourage Valentina to clean up her toys and prepare for the transition. The game idea is to pick up the toy in the order of her favorite color. Teaching loop. The teacher will verbally encourage her child to pick up the toys using a verbal game that gives specific directions on what toy we chose colors, and slowly transition from modeling, assisting the child to only verbal cues and verbal support. So how did it go? Valentina enjoyed the game and was excited to pick up the toys. Valentina added the idea of racing to see who could pick up the colors first. In the future, I would like to just encourage Valentina to pick up the toys verbally versus having to coax her along the way. The way that the plan worked, I asked her what her favorite color was. She said blue. I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and get all those blue pieces. And she was super excited to get the blue pieces. And as she picked them up, she kind of like wanted to race. And she said, I'm going to get him first. And then I go, okay, well, what's your next favorite color? And the game proceeded from there. So looking back and reflecting upon this activity on what was difficult, I found the act of creating invisible support for Valentina a challenge without seeming too obvious in my intentions. Valentina struggles with separating from her parents. It's really hard to create support and get her from one point to the other without the entire class noticing. I also struggle a little bit with creating support for her to make friends. And it's not that the children don't want to play with her, it's just she's really content playing by herself. So creating these friendships without making it so obvious that I am trying to encourage these friendships, that's something that was a little difficult. What do you wish you could have done differently? Next time, I would like to attempt combining goals and outcomes. So next time, for example, with that marble game activity, I would like to encourage a friend to come over and help. Maybe that will encourage some friendships or just that peer interaction. How could learning be extended and what's next for me? Since I only volunteer in this center, I would really, really appreciate collaboration and with the teachers and the supporting staff. Since they are with her all day, I feel like that planning time would be really beneficial. So trying to apply this to my future and just my career in general, this really highlighted how important it is for teachers to get together, to plan, and to talk when they are trying to create these different types of support within a classroom. I really saw how valuable that is. Are there any interesting problems or questions that resulted from your work? Yeah, so I realized that I would really like to learn how to show respect and support for a child who is just completely content with playing by themselves. My focus child has no other markers really of anything that seems too serious or concerning. The child's happy, the child's confident, the child just likes to play by herself. So I would like to learn how to respect and support her and other children like her in the future, and try to find ways to make lessons that are mindful of alone time work, because she seems to really enjoy that. Thanks for watching, and here are my references.